What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an Airbnb scraper by creating a simple workflow in N8N. Let's get started. To set up our workflow in N8N, I've created a workflow that I've renamed to Airbnb scraper. Here we're going to start by adding a trigger. I'm going to choose a manual trigger here. Now, to scrape Airbnb, I'm going to use this tool called Apify. Apify is an incredible tool that you can use to scrape any website and automate projects. To get 30% off your first subscription to this tool, just use the link in the description to sign up and create your account. And after creating your account, head over to Apify store here. And here we're going to search for the website that we like to scrape. In our case, we like to scrape Airbnb. And I'll click on search. And here you can see we have over 100 tools that we can use to scrape Airbnb. So here, I'll use this tool over here to scrape Airbnb. So I'll open this tool on a new tab. And this is the tool that we're going to use to scrape Airbnb. So all we have to do is add a location right here. You can choose to add example of properties that you like to scrape. You can also add the search mode over here, and then add the number of properties that you like to scrape. You can also go more in depth in filtering the properties. So you can filter the properties by reviews. You can also perform a hotel filter, experience filter, date, visitors count, pricing, hotel category, and hotel features. Okay, but I'm going to just scrape 5 listings from this location over here. So to do that, I'll click on start over here. You can see that our tool is running and getting our data. Let's give it a second for it to complete scraping the listings for us. You can see we succeeded in scraping the 5 listings over here. We got the details of the properties. So we got the number of bathrooms, bedrooms, beds, capacity, the city, location, name, pictures, pricing, ratings, reviews, room type, space type, stars, title, and the URL over here. So now, instead of having to manually scrape the listings over here in Apify, we can create a workflow that scrapes the listings for us and adds the listings to a spreadsheet. So in our tool over here, you can see we're adding the location and the limits over here to scrape the listings for us. So now we can add the location and the limit to a spreadsheet and get this data via the spreadsheet. Now workflow right here to scrape the listings from Airbnb. In Google Sheets, I've created a spreadsheet that I've renamed to Airbnb scraper spreadsheet. In this spreadsheet, I've created a sheet that I've named to location. Here's where we're going to add the location and the number of listings I would like to scrape. So to get these data in our workflow, I'll search for Google Sheets and click on Google Sheets. Here, I'll click on Get Rows in Sheet Node. And we're going to start by creating a credential to connect our account to N8N. So to do that, just click on Sign in with Google right here. And then on the new window that pops up, choose the account that you'd like to connect to N8N. And your connection will be created. Here, I'm going to close this window. Then I'm going to find our document right here, which is this document. And then our sheet is going to be the location sheet. And then I'll click on Execute Step right here to get the location and the number of listings. So now with our data right here, we can rename this to Get Location and Listings. Click on Rename. So now with our location and listings over here, we can proceed to scrape the properties from Airbnb. So to do that, we're going to use Apify. So I'll search for Apify right here and click on Apify. Here you'll need to install it first if you haven't installed it yet. And after installing it, click on the Run and After node right here. Here you need to create your credential to connect your account to N8N. So to do that, just click on Connect My Account right here. And then on the new window that pops up, choose the account that you'd like to connect to N8N, and your connection will be created. Since I had already done that, I'm going to close this right here. You would like to run an actor. I'm going to choose a recently used actor. Here we're going to find our actor, which is this actor right here. And here we're going to add our JSON. So I'll click on expression, expand it right here to add our JSON over here. To get our JSON, I'll go back to our tool where it says manual and JSON, click on JSON. Here, we're going to copy this JSON over here. So to copy it, I'll click over here, and then paste the JSON over here. So here, we're going to map the location. Instead of having to add it manually, I'll map it right here. And the limit over here. I'm going to map the limit right here. So now to scrape the listings, I'll click on Execute Step right here. You can see it's executing our node. Let's give it a second for it to complete scraping our listings. Our node was executed successfully, and here you can see the status of the success, and we got our default dataset ID over here. So now to get the listings, here I'll search for Apify again. Click on Apify. This time around I'm going to click on the get dataset items node. Here we're going to map the dataset ID. So I'll map it over here. And then I'll click on execute step right here to get our listings. Our node was executed successfully. And we got our 10 listings right here. So we got the number of bathrooms, bedrooms, beds, capacity, the city, location, latitude, longitude, the name. So getting images, pricing, details, ratings, reviews, room type, space type, stars, title, and the URL over here. I renamed this node to Airbnb scraper, and I renamed this to get Airbnb listings. And click on rename right here. So now with our listings over here, we can proceed and add the listings to a spreadsheet. So in our spreadsheet, I've also created another sheet that I've named to property listings. Here's where we're going to add our listings. So we're going to add the name, title, space type, capacity, city, longitude and latitude, pricing, rating, views count, stars, and the URL over here. So to add our listings, our property listings to our spreadsheet over here, in our workflow, I'll search for Google Sheets and click on Google Sheets, and here I'll click on append rows in sheet node. And then here I'm going to find our document, choose this document right here. And here I'm going to find our sheet, choose this sheet over here. And then here we're going to map values to our columns in our spreadsheet with the data that we scraped using Apify. So we're going to start with the name. Here we're going to map the name right here. The title, we're going to map it right here. Space type, I'll search for the type right here. Can map the space type right here. Capacity here. City here. Latitude we're going to map it right here. Longitude over here. For the pricing, I'm going to map the price over here. I'm going to map the rate over here, the rating over here, reviews count, stars, and lastly we're going to map the URL over here. Then now here I'll click on execute step to add our listings to our spreadsheet. You can see our node was executed successfully and we added our 10 listings to our spreadsheet. Here I renamed this node to Airbnb listings. And then I'll click on rename over here. Now when I open our spreadsheet, here you can see we added our 10 listings over here. So we added the name of the property, title, space type, capacity, city, longitude and latitude, pricing, rating, reviews count, stars, and the URL over here. So I click on it. So here we can try previewing one of the listings. And here you can see the incredible house over here. This is awesome. You can see the details over here, property over here. So we scraped these listing, added the listing with this data to this spreadsheet using this workflow that we created right here in Anytime. So here we are getting the location, the number of listings I would like to scrape. We'll have added to this sheet right here. And then we're using the data to scrape property listings from Airbnb using this node right here. Then here we're getting the listings and then adding the listings to our spreadsheet. As you can see over here, where we're adding the name, title, space type, capacity, city, longitude, latitude, pricing, ratings, reviews count, and the URL over here. We can try testing our workflow, see how it works. To test it in our spreadsheet, in the location sheet, we're going to change the location right here. Let's change it to Miami and scrape 10 listings from Airbnb, this location, and add the listings to our spreadsheet right here. To add the listings to our spreadsheet using this workflow, I'll click on execute workflow over here. can see that our workflow was executed successfully. So here we got the location and the number of listings I would like to scrape. Then using the data, we scrape the property listings from Airbnb. Then we got the listings right here, total of 10 listings. Then we added the listings to our spreadsheet using this node right here. Now, when I open our spreadsheet, you can see we added 10 more property listings to our spreadsheet right here. So we added the name, title, space type, capacity, city, latitude, longitude, pricing, ratings, reviews count, stars, and the listings URLs over here. So we scrape these listings from Airbnb and added the listings to our spreadsheet over here using this workflow that we created right here in Anytime. So our workflow works perfectly. Thank you for watching. Now, if you'd like me to create this workflow for you or a workflow similar to this one, just click the first link in the description to schedule a call with me. On the call, we'll discuss into details about the workflow that you'd like me to create for you. And then I'll proceed to create the workflow for you. But if you enjoyed this video and you have an AI agent or a workflow in mind that you'd like me to create using Any10, just comment it down below in the comment section. I read all the comments. If I land on your comment and I find it intriguing, I'll come back on a future video showing you how to create the entire workflow or AI agent from scratch using Any10. But for now, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.